and welcome to the Valley. Today, I am your host, Janet Michael. We are sitting today at Jim Barnett Park, so that means we are having a conversation with Chris Conyer, City Parks Director. And Chris, we were laughing just a second ago that we start off sitting down. Oh, I've only got a couple of things, and before we know it, there are pages everywhere, and we have like 45 minutes worth of stuff to talk about.
This is what happens every time.
Right? Well, and as we're sitting here, it's early March, and it's a little chilly and windy today. I think we're going to get some nice weather, and then it's going to get cold again.
Yeah.
It's hard to navigate what's going on when and where.
Yeah, the weather has been unpredictable. Let's just put it that way. 75 and then 30, back to the 20s next week.
Spitting snow.
Yeah, snow on Tuesday possibly. So it makes for things interesting.
But we're hoping that you've got good weather on March 20th because you are bringing back the flashlight egg hunt, which you can wear a coat and do that. But kids really seem to love this whole event that you do.
Yeah, I mean, we started this 2 years ago. It's a unique twist on a traditional event that you see everywhere. It's very popular and it's fun. I think it's different. We do it out on the turf fields. The lights go down. You got the headlamps and the flashlights. And I feel like even the littlest of little, because some of the egg hunts that you go to, it's not necessarily really
No, you get your middle school kids in there, and it's just a race to see who can grab them all.
Yeah, this is more where you actually have to go around and take a look and collect eggs. Because of the popularity, we have a tremendous amount of eggs prepared for this particular event. So I don't think it'll be super hard to get your hands on some eggs, but it's just cool now that we have the turf fields to have the kids go out there after it gets dark and hype it up and then take the lights down and you see all the little
flashlights everywhere and hear the kids squealing and carrying on when they find an egg.
Yeah, it actually is an egg hunt. So it's become a very popular spring event for us. And then before the egg hunt we don't do until 8 o'clock because we want it to be dark. They have all kinds of crafts and games and activities and music, and you can get your picture with the Easter Bunny. And all of those things are going on here at the War Memorial Building. That starts at 6:30. Come early, get into some fun spring-themed activities, and then...
Turn them loose.
Yeah. And the egg hunt never lasts long.
I know,
Even
right?
when you turn the lights off and you got to find it with your lights or whatever, it does seem like the eggs disappear
Go quick.
Yeah.
Now,
Not as quick as your standard one.
That's true.
I remember when my kids were little, it was like they'd go, okay, and they'd snap your fingers and it's done.
And it's done.
How did thousands of eggs just
that quick?
are gone that quick?
Now, do people have to register for the egg hunt part? Do they just show up that night?
It's free. We do have like a fee to join is $4 for some extra stuff, but the egg stuff is all good.
Which is nice because then it's accessible for every family to come and do. And then if you want to do some add-ons, you can do that for...
Yeah, exactly. And all the crafts, games, we have tons of volunteers here. The Easter Bunny will be here. All that's free.
So we were talking a second ago about the weather. And as we get into the end of March and into April, golf season is starting. You and I did a show last year where I got to see the golf simulator and how cool that is. But you'll be closing that down for the season when actual golf starts, right?
March 26th, we take the golf sim out of the mix. We need the room over the summer, so that's part of the reason. But the golf sim has gotten a lot of momentum, actually.
So people have really been using it.
Yeah. It has been very popular, which on purpose we slow rolled it because we didn't want 50 million people using it at once, but it's become very popular. We have a retired gentleman, his name's Bob. He's like our golf sim guy. He has connected well with a lot of the golfers. He puts you on different courses and stuff. It's slowly but surely being rented consistently throughout the winter here.
And what you're going to find is that as these people that are using it get out onto our courses and are playing better, and their buddies say, wait, how did you get so good?
Yeah, that's a
then
good
they're
point.
going to tell them, and it's going to be an even busier winter this year.
Yeah, like I worked on my swing over the winter. We may still do some things. We talked about if there's like forecast looks horrible and it's going to be raining for a couple of days. That's the beauty of the golf.
You could do a
sim.
pop-up.
Set up. Yeah, you can pop it up, and we might consider doing an event or two. We're not trying to compete with the actual courses, which why would we?
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense because the whole point of this is to make you better at those.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, for sure. But yeah, next winter we're going to be doing the same thing, and I think it went over really well. Super pumped for that. That was a wise purchase for us.
So let's switch gears for a second and talk about kids stuff.
Yeah.
Because you've got the We Won Wednesdays. I know we always joke about the Hive.
Yeah.
And then we don't talk that much about it because it is full before we ever get an opportunity. But now is the time.
Yeah, Monday, March 23rd is when Hive registration opens.
So if you want to get your kids in, that is the day. And is it open only to city residents?
Yeah, we open it for city only, and then we really have never got
Yeah, if you had anything left, you would then open it up, but you never have anything left.
We never have anything left.
And it's because it's such a fun, cool program. You've always said that it is one of your favorite things that you do.
Our child care coordinator, Stephanie Frazier, and her staff, it's just an amazing program. They always are doing stuff and having a good time. And they have creative activities, and then in the summer, it's like...
And that's it's the equivalent of like basic rec.
Yeah.
It's your version of basic rec
that's
for
exactly
city
right.
schools and city residents.
After school during the school year, because they start earlier than the county. And then in the summer, we have the full day. And they do the same kind of stuff, field trips, that thing. The beauty of the Hive is you have the allure of all the amenities and all of the different things that you can get into here in the park, both indoor and outdoor. With having the pool next door, the outdoor pool next door, they have swim lessons. They participate in that program, in the indoor pool. They have a lot of cool stuff going on all the time.
There's a lot of options.
Yeah.
And that's why it fills up.
Yeah, it is just such a positive place to put your child.
Now, the We Won Wednesdays, how old or young do these kids have to be?
It's preschool age. The romper room, so it's the first and third Wednesday of every month. The first Wednesday of every month is more like an organized activity. It's usually centered around like reading a book and themed out. And
Structured.
They do activity, yeah. And then the PB&J option, we call it the PB&J Club, is the third Wednesday. That's where the gym has a bunch of different amenities, different things that they can get. Mats.
It's like free play.
Yeah.
But the parents have to stay.
Yes. Yeah, the parents need to stay.
Don't drop and go.
No, you can't drop and go. There's none of that going on. We can't have that many kids. So really, it's like the first Wednesday is maybe designed for more of the preschool, whereas the third one, you can go smaller.
Your toddlers and things like that.
They can crawl around, and there's balls and mats and all kinds of cool stuff. But it's become very popular. The first Wednesday has really gotten popular because I think parents appreciate the theme of it and the fun activities. Our community rec staff, they do a nice job creatively of coming up with these activities. And then they ramp it up. In the summertime, it takes a whole nother life, which I'll talk about at our next show. But it's like ramping up We Won Wednesdays to like another level. So the whole idea is we have been on a kick to try to get that age group, that kind of preschool, the 5 and under group, more in the building, more engaged, more involved in recreation, more involved in positive activities, that kind of thing. And it's slowly but surely getting better and better.
And you mentioned swim lessons a second ago. You offer swim lessons for that age group as well.
Oh, absolutely. Yes. Swim lessons. Again, the indoor pool, we're the only game in town.
Yeah, where else are you going to learn to swim in March?
I think Valley Health does some of that stuff now, but from Labor Day to Memorial Day, we're really the ones that are getting into it in terms of getting kids comfortable in the water and then progressing them into being a strong swimmer. And then from there, you can graduate into swim teams and different things like that. But those are open now that high school swim has come to a close. We survived another season. We're the home of all of the area swim teams. Now we focus on trying to get the younger age, especially the elementary age and the preschool age, into the water and swimming. We have a new aquatics coordinator. Her name's Noelle Callis. She has extensive experience in the world of aquatics.
Oh, nice.
She came from the private sector, had her own company. It was called Super Splashers.
I've heard of them.
So she came on with us back in December. So there's been some excitement on the aquatic side. So we're pretty pumped about that. But yeah, now swim lessons, those are open now on our website.
And you do free ones for city residents in a certain, is it an age group or is it experience level? Level 1, that's what it is.
Yeah, we don't want there to ever be an economic hurdle to start the program. We're not at a point where we can do all swim lessons for free, and we'll have some of that same stuff going on in the summer. For city residents.
Yes, you have to be, that's one of the things that where everybody, and we're going to talk about this more in the second segment, everybody from the area, all the surrounding counties use the pools on a fairly regular basis. But for the swim lessons, it is restricted, the free ones, to city residents.
Yeah.
Before we go to break, what's going on with Hinkle Field?
Oh. So Henkel's almost over, full makeover, brand new dugouts. As part of the SU deal, the actual field was already done. The field is actually beautiful. It's always been nice since the day that I started here because SU redid the thing. New backstops. We have the black fencing, higher. We had to do new backstops to prevent baseballs from going on the turf. That was one of the issues. So it's a nice fix and the field pops, but it's also from a safety perspective, it's way better. So we're pretty pumped about that. Field padding, we have branded it Hanley now. It's got the Hanley colors, which is pretty sweet.
Yeah, as a county girl, I'm not so happy about that. I would have preferred blue and gold, but okay, you can use your maroon and white, whatever.
My job goes to James Wood.
I know.
And then the biggest thing is the press box. So it has a brand new press box with 2 storage units. The upstairs has some office space, but then the third level,
this is the key.
Is all new restrooms,
yes,
which will serve both Hinkle Harris and then the turf fields on the other side.
And that is outstanding. As someone whose kid played here when he was younger, it was a nightmare. You'd have to walk a country mile to find a restroom. So that is outstanding.
Yeah, and they're very nice. They're very nice. So the building is all up, the field's all up. They'll be starting next week, of course, weather cooperates. But yes, Hinkle Harris looks, and then the crown, I almost forgot, it has new lighting. So the wood poles are gone. Steel pole.
Y'all getting fancy.
Focusing.
You got turf, you got new fields, you got new light.
It is.
You're
it's come a
swanky.
long way. It's come a long way. Hanley baseball got new lights and got some upgrades. Now the softball field, that field needed a little bit of TLC.
It needed some zhuzhing.
Yeah. And then we needed the restrooms because of the turf. There's just way too many. I can't even tell you how many people are. It's ridiculous at this point.
You need to figure out a way to have some sort of clicker because it would be interesting to see over the course of a year just how many bodies are on that field.
It is crazy. It really is crazy. All through the winter, there's adult league on Friday, Saturday, ultimate frisbee, soccer, rugby was on there. We had baseball teams out here practicing because their fields were closed a couple weeks ago to try to start the spring season. We've got a soccer team that practices at 6 a.m.
That's just
out here. We have a semi-pro team that's out here late at night. It's amazing what comes out of the woodwork when you have the facility.
When you have when you have access to something, people will use it.
So I'm glad you mentioned that. Very proud of our fields. Our staff does amazing jobs on the actual fields, but then we've been constantly fixing up. And then Winchester Baseball, our park partner, they've been coming on lately to help reinvest in the park with some of these things. So there's a lot of good stuff going on.
Let's take a break. When we come back, I want to talk about the new playground.
Yes.
Because you're about to open it up to everybody. Mm-hmm. And speaking of the if you build it, they will come, we're going to get in the weeds a little bit on pool futures here at Winchester City Parks. Yes.
I'm in the middle of aquatics. I never thought I would be there.
Who would have guessed? The guy who doesn't swim is making his entire career around swimming pools.
My whole legacy is going to be aquatics, and I can barely swim.
Then he doesn't even know how to use. We're going to talk about all that when we come back. We are at Jim Barnett Park today talking with Chris Conyer. He is City Parks Director. We're going to learn more about the new playground when we come back in just a couple of minutes.
This Tuesday, April Davis will change the world. She doesn't know that yet. All she knows is that she went to justserve.org and volunteered an hour of her time. Browsing through dozens of service opportunities in her community, April decided to spend her Tuesday evening serving dinner to mothers and their children at a transitional house. She doesn't know she'll be serving a particular mother and daughter who will be spending their first night in this home. April doesn't know that the hot meal she'll serve is the first this mother and daughter will have had in a week, or that the simple smile she'll offer as she serves them will help them realize that things are going to be all right. Which is why this Tuesday, April Davis will change the world. See the difference you can make. Sign up for service opportunities in your community. Visit justserve.org.
Welcome back to the Valley. Today, I am your host, Janet Michael. We are recording in advance, as we almost always do, but today we're sitting at Jim Barnett Park. Chris Conyer sitting across the table from me. He is City Parks Director. Chris, we talked in the first segment about the flashlight egg hunt. We talked about the golf simulator closing for the season, the We Ones Wednesdays, the Hive. We talked about all of the improvements being made at Hinkle. But we did not talk about this super cool new playground.
Man, I am very excited about Family Land here in Jim Barnett Park.
It is a staple. Like, I used to bring, Josh is 30-ish years old now. And the reason I say ish these days is because I don't really want to do the math and have to say out loud how old my kid really is now that he's in his 30s. But I used to bring him down here all the time when he was little to play on that. And it is going to seriously transform into something people are going to love.
My kids were young, and I remember when the new playground, what was considered the new playground, went in, the one we're replacing.
Yeah.
And they were like 3. I think Kevin was 3 and Kenzie was 2, and they were pumped about the new one. So now you could fast forward, I think it's 23 years.
That is insane.
The one playground is...
First of all, it's just crazy that that playground lasted that long, given the amount of kids that crawl all over it.
That's a good point. So, but yeah, it's coming up on 23, I think, years old. We're in replacement mode. So Monday, when does this air?
Oh, so as this airs, it's happening this week.
Yeah, exactly. They begin to install.
Big install.
Yeah, it's a big install.
It's not like they're going to roll up in here and 2 hours later head on home like something you put in your backyard. This is an undertaking.
Yeah, this is a large playground. So bigger than the one that's currently down there. So there's 2 playground systems down there. There's one closest to the parking lot, which is called Children's Dream. That is the one that's being replaced. So that's going to stay in. You could still use that today. And so you'll still be able to go down there and use that while the other one is being installed back behind it.
Okay.
And then there's a second playground, which will stay intact, and that's going to be in the plan for the next 2 or 3 years. That one came in a little bit after Children's Dream. So it's kind of a 2-phaser, but phase 1 is going to be bigger. It's still going to have the spongy playground surfacing.
Good. Yeah, it was mulch when my kid was playing on that thing. It was not kid-friendly at all.
It's got all kinds of different
You got all kinds of bells and whistles for these kids to play on.
Climb
on, jump on, roll through, all of the things.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. The funniest thing, though, is we try to hey, what would you like to see on your playground, and rank all these, all these different
merry-go-rounds
features.
and monkey bars.
And then it was it came back, the number 1 and number 2 was swings and slides. I'm like, all of these things, zip lines and all this crazy stuff, and
swings and slides.
Yeah.
You can't go wrong with a swing and a slide.
It's true. So we did add some extra swings, and it does have some cool slides, because that's apparently what people want. And I'm not in playground mode anymore. My kids are. So on April 18th, we're going to be opening that bad boy up to the public. And we have all kinds of cool stuff going on that Saturday. So first off, we partner with the Shenandoah Valley Discovery Museum.
Yay, way to go, Tammy and Dawn.
Yes, they are awesome, by the way. They're celebrating 30 years.
I still can't believe that. I remember when they opened downtown on the Walking Mall. That's where they originally were before they moved into the space that they're in now.
That.
They were downtown on the Walking Mall where Thinker Toys is now.
Yes, in fact, I was a chaperone for Kevin's kindergarten trip to that location. That is a true story.
It's crazy.
And it was where Thinker Toys is. But they're celebrating 30 years. And if you don't know, down here on one of our trails, we partnered with the Discovery Museum to put in storyboards. It's called the Story Walk. That's what we call it here in Jim Barnett Park. So they're doing a color walk, similar to a color run where you can get the different colors on your shirt and all that stuff.
Oh, fun.
So they're doing a little event, and then we're going to have food trucks, and the music will be playing, and then we'll have some face painting and some activities, and there'll be a couple vendors there, and then the Discovery Museum will do their color walk, and we're going to kick off the festivities with cutting the ribbon and
letting the kids run screaming towards all of the swings and slides.
Enjoy the new playground. At the end of the day, this is what it's for. It's for the community. But I'm very excited. We've been working on this for a while. The park board made it our number 1 priority about a year and a half ago. We have an amazing donor, JJ and K. Smith. They donated a lot of money to help us get the size playground that we wanted and the resurfacing and all of these things are not.
They are not cheap. And
No.
we talked about that a couple of shows ago, I think, in that they not only are not inexpensive, they're also a whole lot more difficult and complicated to put together than, I'm just going to order a bunch of this equipment and set
Yeah.
it up here.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's a whole thing. So we'll be there for about 2 hours on the 18th, and it's just a celebration of this is what we have going on.
So now let's transition over to the pool stuff.
Here we go.
You've got some big plans, bigger plans, and the biggest plans of all possibilities right now where the indoor pool is concerned, an aquatics center.
Yeah.
But there's a survey right now
Yeah.
that you want people to go and take, whether you live in the city or not. You could live in Berryville but come to the pool, or live in Middletown like
Yeah,
I
and
do,
that's what's happening
and come
now.
to the pool. So explain what it is and why it's important.
Essentially, the indoor pool here in Winchester, without being a regional pool, it sort of is a regional pool.
It has become one by default.
Yes, exactly. So we do house the high school swim teams. So a couple years from now, the left side or right side, depending on how you're looking at it, the old side of the War Memorial Building is going to be due for a renovation. So it's on our CIP list. We've been talking about it. It's been on the CIP list before I got here. That 10-year snapshot of, hey, in 10 years, the social hall and the gym side, that went in 08, looks pretty good, not too many issues. The other side's been 1957. So 2030, 2029, we're gonna be faced with a renovation. The roofing, the HVAC, and then that would include the locker rooms and of course the indoor pool. So the time has come where we hired a firm, Councilman Hunsaker out of Missouri. They have an excellent reputation of putting all the data together and giving you a snapshot of what your area needs and then giving you some options.
What it can support and how it would work, and most importantly, what kind of money are we talking?
Yeah, cost estimate is probably number one thing. So part of the process is first you hire them on and they're gonna collect all the data of what other facilities are in your area, what other programs are in your area. So they're working on that data now. They came in on February 17th and they interviewed all of our stakeholders. So we had Frederick County, Clark County, city, school systems, Frederick County school systems, Winchester school systems, all the local swim teams, Winchester swim team, Phoenix, just talking about their program, what they would like to
Shenandoah
see.
University.
Yeah, the university was here because they're considering adding swimming as a Division III athletic. So we're just having all of those conversations, and that's just going to go into the data. The second part of that data is to hear from the people that live in our area, not just city residents, obviously, but outside of the city. Who does use Jim Barnett Park? What do you use it for? Are you willing to use Jim Barnett Park if it had upgraded facilities? What kind of upgraded facilities are you really interested in? There's therapeutic pools, there's competitive pools, there's lazy river, rec style pools. There's all of
I want a
these.
lazy river rec style pool.
Exactly. And that's one of the things that we do lack here is we don't have a lot of general swim time because we don't have the space.
It's such a functional utilitarian pool for the indoor use of it that you don't have that ability.
So the concepts really, to put it pretty basic, is concept one will be no partners, the city only, we need to fix our pool. So things like ventilation, trying to create maybe some extra spectator room, updating our pump room, and all that stuff costs money.
Right.
You're talking
And
millions of
that
dollars
stuff
here.
costs a lot of money.
This renovation project, I think we're looking at $8 to $10 million is what we allocated.
Easily.
So then B would be to create maybe a second pool option to bump out on what's currently down there. Same thing, improve spectator area, improve ventilation, update pump room or whatever, but maybe instead of just having one pool, that there's a second body of water, which gives us more water space.
Right.
More ability to program.
During swim season, you
Yes.
can also then do lessons, which you can't do now because
there's
the
a
pool
lot-
is in
there's a-
use.
There's a ton of stuff that we can't do just because of our current situation. And if you were able to do that, then yeah, obviously it would open the ability to do a ton of other things. There's also another high school coming in the area in case you haven't figured that out. So that would mean potentially another swim team that would have to come here because Hanley, Millbrook, Jameswood, and Sharando are already coming here. So there's that reality, which is in the same time frame, 3 to 4 years. So that concept B is just more water space and a bigger facility in what's existing now. And then the last one is more of a regional aquatic facility where you would be looking at our outdoor pool turning into something a lot bigger. There's a bunch of different...
And to be clear, the outdoor pool wouldn't go away. It would still be part of this aquatic center, I'll call it, for people to bring their kids on a Saturday afternoon or whatever.
It would just be a much bigger option. Probably be an outdoor option. I don't know what that looks like, and I'm not Mr. Aquatics, everybody knows that. But each concept is going to require buy-in on partnerships or whatever. So that's what we're doing now. We're trying to put together, is it just us or maybe one partner? If the university were to come in, you have to have NCAA regulations. There's things like diving, for example, has come up. You don't even think about those type of things. And so you can envision that if we go to concept B, then it's going to require more buy-in from the community outside of just the city. And then obviously concept C
needs everybody to put some skin in the game.
Everybody's got to jump in and be part of the solution. And then maybe everybody gets something nice at a fraction of the cost instead of one entity taking on the burden of everything.
Yeah, when you use that number, let's just say $10 million, that's a huge burden for just the city to take on and for its taxpayers to take on. But you split that between Frederick County, Clark County, maybe some of Warren County, and some of the schools, and the university, and the swim teams. Suddenly it's
and
not...
And you're going to need all those people to use a bigger facility.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and what does that look like? So we're still a couple years out. The other thing is if you have more partners and you have a bigger facility that has a further reach, you also have a further reach on private donors, on the ability to fundraise. So you have to have some time built out to put the data together, figure out what we're doing, hear from the community. We're probably going to form like a board of people to start making some decisions, figure out who our partner is, have some time to fundraise, and then put it all together. It's complicated, I'm not going to lie, but the problem with us is we have to do something.
Yeah, you've got to make a move in some way, shape, or form.
Our locker rooms are outdated.
And you certainly don't want to do option one, which is do the upgrades that need to be done, and then in 3 years, 5 years, the new school is open, and all these other things, and you're thinking, man, we should have done all of this when we had the chance. So
you don't want to do hindsight 2020. So now we're trying to rally the aquatics community, talk to as many people as we can, because again, 2029, 2030, we're staring at it. Take the pool out. We have to fix a roof. We have to get the HVAC upgraded. The locker rooms are terrible. We're talking about closing in our courtyard back here to allow for a little bit of space. The population in the city and the county are growing. More people are in Jim Barnett Park today than ever before.
Right.
And so there's no way around it for me. We're living it. The swim teams are actually here. The indoor pool is open. We're living it. And so what are we supposed to do? And instead of continually putting Band-Aids on things, in a couple years, we're going to have to spend...
You're going to need more than a Band-Aid.
Yeah.
So address it head on.
Yes. So if we're going to spend a chunk of money, the time has come to...
Make it the most cost-effective way to spend that money as possible.
Absolutely.
So the survey itself, where can people find it? And everybody and anybody should go take it. Like me as a Middletown resident should go in and say, I want a lazy river with all of it.
Well, yeah, we want to hear, even if it's negative, even if you're like, I'm not willing to drive to Jim Barnett Park for my swim needs.
I don't use the pool. I never use the pool. I never will use the pool. You got to know that too. That's also valuable information.
Yes. So winchesterva.gov/aquatics goes right to the survey. And I'll send you the link.
And I'll put that in the show notes too.
Yeah, you're just trying to get as many responses as possible, positive or negative. Maybe a regional aquatic facility isn't the answer. I want to be clear because there's been some questions that come up on social media.
Shocking.
It's not a needs assessment. It's a aquatic study because we're forced to figure out what we're going to do.
Right.
That's really the difference. There's been a lot of studies and a lot of people can say, yeah, the area needs an aquatic facility. I agree with that because I know firsthand.
You're in it, like you said earlier.
I know what the teams have. There's a lot of things that we don't have that other communities have because of lack of facilities. Not just in the aquatics community, across the board. But this is important stuff because the next year or so is going to...
It's all going to start to come together, at least from a planning perspective.
Yeah, and if no one wants to partner and it's just the city, and that's perfectly fine with me. We just need to know that, and then we know what we're staring at.
Then you can make a plan and get it done.
Yeah, we're still going to be fixing something.
one way or the other, you're getting new HVAC and a new roof probably.
Yeah, and we're going to make an attempt to fix our locker rooms and create more space down at the indoor pool. That's the bottom line. That's what people don't understand. Do we need an aquatic facility? We may not be building a new aquatic facility. It may be fixing the one that we have, which we're going to have to do regardless. So
and it could be option 2 of just adding a second pool, doing that work and making room for a second indoor pool. That may solve the problems of the day.
Yeah.
Who knows?
I'm definitely not 100% convinced that we're going to get some giant regional aquatic facility. Because those things are like $30 million.
They are not cheap. But
everybody kicks in 10.
I was going to say, you've also got the really cool part in that the Summer Olympics will be going on at about the time that this is part of the mainstream conversation, and people are watching the diving competitions and Katie Ledecky win her 400th gold medal. Yeah. So maybe somebody will open up their wallets a little more because of that. Yeah. Take the survey.
Yeah, and if people have questions, just give us a call. It's totally transparent. We are not trying to hide anything or be secretive. The one side of our building is 1950s. The indoor pool was installed in 1975. September of 75, it just turned 50 years old. So do the math. Unfortunately for me, with the timing, I got to address that item. And it's been on the CIP for a while in this city. Now, all of this is contingent on funding and city council and all that stuff. But right now, it's been on the list, and the city is committed to fixing it.
Speaking of it being 50 years old, before we go, because I know you're coming back in May.
Yeah.
You've got a drone show for the Virginia 250th?
Yeah, so the city is doing some things on its own, separate from the Virginia 250 has like their own.
They have their own committee thing.
They have their own thing.
And then each of the localities are doing things on their own.
Yeah. And so the city has a couple different events just to celebrate. Like, we'll be decorating Old Town, doing some of those things. The big thing for us is on May 30th, we're going to be doing our normal thing on July 3rd, of course, here in the park with fireworks.
Red, white, and boom.
But May 30th, we're going to be having a drone show here in Jim Barnett Park. And we have a whole day planned. There's like a water safety fair, so a whole bunch of fun things to celebrate schools being out. But the captivating event, the culminating event of the evening is going to be a 250th anniversary themed drone show. And I'm pumped to see it.
And you're going to give me all the details for that when we get back together in May.
Yeah, I'll have a lot of information, but it's coming together very nicely. And I think it's something very cool, completely free, but something very cool that the community hasn't seen before. And we also have Patsy Cline Memorial Park, which is now officially a city park, and we'll be doing a neighborhood night on June 5th.
Okay.
And there's an amphitheater.
So we already have a list. See, again, as we said when we started off with just a couple of things, we ended up with 4 pages, and we're sitting here in March already talking about what we're going to talk in the May show. But thank you for taking the time today. I appreciate it.
Yeah, as always.
I will be back tomorrow with a brand new episode of The Valley Today a few minutes after noon, so meet me here then.